Hey, what's going on, guys? We got another Exceed commentary here. It's CPAT, and today we're going to be looking at a little bit of a post-com situation, so I was unable to catch this match because I think it happened at maybe 4 o'clock my time or something like that. But DxD was kind enough to record the action for us so we can cast it for you in post. Oh, what is... Oh. Well, I'm going to take a look at that afterward and make sure that there are no DMs or anything were leaked, because that's a... Did not expect that to be in the video like that, just being able to tab out. But thank you so much again to DxD for recording. We'll be taking a look at a match with DxD on the red side. We'll be able to see his hand and everything against MrLephisto on blue side. And Carmine Linné. Not a matchup I've particularly played before, but one that I would have to assume swings heavily in favor of Diviner usage. So if we take a look at that Diviner Ultra, that's actually getting mulled away. It's an Ignore Guard Ultra 2-3, 6-3 that gains both speed and range for each continuous boost in play. And of course, Carmine loves his continuous boosts with the dissolves. So that's definitely an Ultra to look out for if you're Linné, as we see an interesting hand of an EX essentially dive with the Flying Swallow. In EX sweep as well. But of course, that's not going to matter because there's no way Carmine's striking turn 1 with a dive, right? We're actually just going to see the Dissolve drop instead. Dissolve taking middle space, so not threatening the assault, but threatening the thrust instead. We do have an early tech hit if DxD does want to take that option. Maybe a tech hit into a Flying Swallow or something, but tech hit early is pretty good into Carmine if you have a good follow-up, just because... Actually, we're actually going to see the roll boosted by Linné here, moving to range 3 and striking with a sweep. Okay, I mean, the only problem is... I mean, it's okay. I mean, the sweep's probably going to trade down in most cases. Actually, no, it doesn't catch the thrust. Super well called out there from DxD. But Linné has the Diviner boost, and Linné also just has a lot of gaining advantage with her stuff. As one thrust down early for Carmine, that's pretty good. And this just pulls a dive, so not the most consequential pull. So let's say if that sweep pulls out another quote unquote good card, then we could be cooking here. I wonder if Linné chooses to strike with the flying swallow here. It functions as a little bit of a mid speed, but it's a mid speed that loses to slows, so it's not the best looking strike. But I mean, it's 5 power. It is at speed 4. We're actually gonna see Linné opt to move in, and use her UA. So not going for an aggressive strike, just going for a more passive play instead. Moving to range 2. Linné functions really well at range 2. She has a range 2 dodge in the not exclusive flash, in the elusive flash, excuse me. In range 2, a lot of her stuff does hit. She has a DP shape as well as MrLephisto prepares. So this is a good chance for Linné to do some damage. I wonder if Linné would be brave enough to go for a range 2 spike. Can even empower that with one of the boosts as well to gain advantage afterward. Pretend like you're playing a fast, although if you're doing that, I mean, Carmine can respond with a thrust, but then spike catches that thrust as well. We're actually just going to see a raw spike, no boost from Linné here. I'm shocked that didn't really get paired with anything. There were some good options to pair with it. It's going to be the spike popping the pulverize. Really good start here for Linné. Kind of wish that Linné would have gained advantage off it with something, but not meant to be. Back to MrLephisto here, who clearly doesn't have a second dissolve in hand, otherwise it would have been boosted last turn, I feel like. But maybe has drawn one off the 2 cards gained from the prepare action. But this is how, this is how you want to try to deal with early game Carmine, is you want to try to force them to have the early dissolves and the early good cards, because Carmine does take a little bit of time to build up. And if Carmine doesn't have the proper tools, then, I mean, a character like Linné, especially with advantage written all over the character, should be able to eventually roll over a Carmine that doesn't draw enough early. I feel like, although I mean that's a pretty tough ask, right? Because Carmine is definitely one of the one of the strongest characters in the game thus far, but it's a pretty tough ask, but that's definitely how you want to play as Lene, especially because we have not drawn the early Diviner, which is why I was kind of disappointed that the Diviner dropped anyway, because the Diviner's one way to handle Carmine as well, though not really needed at this juncture, but it's a very good late game tool, especially. But we see a hand of a couple slows, so I wonder if we're gonna see like a roll into second sweep here, gain advantage. Don't play Flying Swallow, please. Yeah, that will miss. Because Flying Swallow is a conditional advance 3, but conditional advance 3 at range 2 is just range 2. We're actually just going to see a sweep at range 2 with no boost on it. I kind of want to maybe see like a +1 power boost on this. Unfortunately, gets crossed out. Carmine deals 3 damage to the sweep. Another thing to prevent crosses from happening, another boost, although not currently in Lene's hand, is the advance before close 1 boost, which I believe is on Moongyre, I want to say, as we see a second dissolve boost at range 2. But if we pair sweep with the before close 1, then you can't get crossed out like that. Shocked we didn't see a Flying Swallow boost as well to move to range 1. And then strike with the sweep, and then gain advantage afterward, and then prep. That seemed like maybe a better line, because this Flying Swallow has just been sitting in hand for a while. I'm not really sure what the purpose of it is, as we're going to see Lene strike with a Sky Fangs. Pretty obvious. I mean, Sky Fangs, Flying Swallow, and what's the third one? They all lose to Thrust. Spin will also work. So Sky Fangs will hit first for 3 damage. Close 3, and then spin will get Carmine out of the corner, hit back for 6, popping the second blood spike as well. Carmine will probably have to spend a turn to exceed, so 1 more turn left before Carmine starts recurring those dissolves from Gauge. So I really want to start seeing Lene do a little bit of advantage chaining from this position. Although the hand is not great for it. I mean, if we look at it, it's Flying Swallow, Tenacious Mist, Focus, Block. Which is why I would have preferred seeing... Actually, we're going to see Lene take the Lene action move at range 3. This feels too slow. I don't know, I would have preferred to see Lene strike with advantage first in the earlier parts of the game, and then just refill with that advantage afterward if need be over this strategy right now, as Carmine is now starting to get set up. Pops a dissolve on the middle board again. Again, like the middle board positioning is threatening only for fast. It's threatening thrust, right? It's not threatening assault. We are going to see a tech hit come out. What is? Oh, Carmine had an extra card in hand, so it just had to discard for end of turn. So we're going to see the tech hit come out, but then not get. Okay, yeah, the tech hit. There we go. Now the tech hit comes out. Tech hits the dissolve, and then now we're going to be striking with our dive-like Flying Swallow. I mean, Carmine's striking with a slow here, right? Nothing really at range 4. There's no downside to it, and yeah, there's the focus. Fortunately, tech hit for Lene means that she can't gain advantage off it with a boost. So the Flying Swallow will do 3 damage, and focus will hit back for 4. Carmine will draw a card as well off that. Surely the dissolve from boost gets boosted now, and Carmine takes a step back, although at range 2 Carmine does have to worry about the elusive flash. We know that Carmine does... Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so that's actually dodging the elusive flash. Carmine takes a step I would have thought I just kind of assumed Carmine would take a step back, but there's no reason for Carmine to take a step back. Carmine takes a step forward and places that dissolve at range 2. I wonder why at range 2 over range 1. So we see the second tech hit come out and into a strike, and it's going to be the mid speed that Lene has, the Tenacious Mist, predicting that Carmine will respond with another slow, and it is another slow. This is actually probably the best, or it's the highest gain of armor that Lene will receive off the Tenacious Mist for the most part. So it'll be a 4 for 2 trade. Unfortunately, Lene looking a little bit low on cards, has a bunch of gauge change cards, and no dissolves in the gauge for Carmine, since both of them got tech hit very early on. I do like the aggressive tech hits there, just force Carmine to have another one. We're actually going to see the Rain Blood come out instead. So this is Carmine's way of getting dissolves back from the discard area. Second copy of Spin goes down in the process. But this tells you that Carmine doesn't have Ultras in hand. So that's, I mean, it's the time to strike, but Lene unfortunately doesn't really have the gas to do so with a hand of Cross Focus. Probably going to see... Oh, we're actually just going to see the Exceed side come out from Lene. Obviously feeling comfortable with this low size hand, and we're going to see a Carmine strike here, dissolve at range 2. Focus, I feel like, is not gonna... Oh, Focus? No, Focus does not perform well into this. But Focus was kind of hoping that Carmine would assault in, but I don't think there was a world where Carmine was going to assault in. I guess Focus does mitigate some damage. Anyway, Carmine responded with Twist, essentially just replacing the Blood Pool, gaining advantage afterward, and then immediately striking again. So we're going for the fast slow mix up here again, or of is this Twist or is this something else? Could even be a spike in theory from Carmine, or should just see a Wild Swing from Lene. It is the second copy of Twist, which will get spiked. Those Ignore Guards, man, they are good. The Wild Swing, so the Twist will deal 4 damage first, and then Carmine will get hit back for 5. And it is still Carmine's turn. Range 3 here, probably just going to pop a Dissolve down and then move back if I had to guess. MrLephisto actually taking his time here. Is he thinking of not doing that? Oh, he's striking with an EX from hand. What could this be? Could this be... I think it could be EX Spike. Is it an Assault Spike mix-up? I don't know. Let's see. Not really much. I mean, it could be Sweep. I don't think it's... No, it's not... I mean, not Sweep, but, the Sweep Like. It can't be the Sweep Like, actually. Polarize is already down. Just a straight Assault Spike mix-up. Interesting. Decision from MrLephisto. Especially because he could have executed this by just moving back. So we're going to choose to believe it's Assault, but it is EX Spike. Dealing lethal damage. That's a spicy EX Spike. 'Cause I feel like... Especially with a Lene that had... Actually, I'd take that back. Maybe that EX Spike was pretty good just because... No, I take that back. I think the EX Spike initiation was okay there. Just because Lene was finally exceeded. I forgot that Lene had taken a turn to exceed earlier in the game. But Lene can like roll in and strike. She could have before close 1 and strike as well with the... Or actually is... I think the boost on Skyfangs is +1 power now strike. So yeah, Carmine saying, okay, I would rather not deal with a Lene striking into me. So I'll just go for the Spike instead, especially because if you set up, you're risking getting hit by the Diviner. Unfortunately, Lene never drew a Diviner, which was kind of sad, especially because one was mulliganed in the early game. Like, I guess it's a little bit greedy to keep a Diviner, maybe. Maybe that was the thought process behind not chucking it away, but that card just feels so crucial into Carmine. Like, any chance you can get a Spike like, and one as good, like, as reliable as Diviner. Like, Diviner is super good into Carmine. I feel like you have to keep that just to have a shot in the matchup. But not meant to be. Carmine takes a close game over Lene in game 1. We're going to see DxD stick with the Lene, and we're actually going to see MrLephisto bring out the Sagat. So both these players, contrary to kind of the popular opinion, have only brought 3 character rosters. So the roster building rules for this tournament are that you can bring 3 characters as per normal, or if you would like, and this was a move to promote kind of diversity with character picks, if you would like, as we see Lene mulligan a couple cards, Sagat molds 4, I think. I didn't see what cards Lene molds. But if you would like, you can, instead of bringing only 3 characters, you can bring 4 characters sorry, I got my thoughts jumbled there. If 4 of those, you can bring 4 characters if one of those is from each season. So 1 from season 3, 1 from season 4, 1 from season 5, and 1 from season 6. But both these guys actually chose not to, and they both brought 2 season 6 characters in their roster. As we're going to see another role come out from Lene. Advanced Retreat, 1 then Strike. Pretty good boost. Take gain advantage as well. We're actually going to see Lene go for another sweep. Now, Skyfangs is an interesting pick because Skyfangs actually catches cross. Catches the neutral cross. A little bit under curve, which is kind of sad. But no, it's just going to be the Skyfangs into the block. Let's see. Yeah, Sagat just immediately chooses to take 1 damage. Lene comes into range 1. Lene, probably going to be a rather difficult character to zone. If I had to guess, she's a lot of movement and strike. Her UA has movement as well. She's a season 6 character, so she has grasp boost and assault boost for movement. As we see, DxD opt for Lene action again, so drawing 2 and then retreating 1. This, however, gives Sagat a free cross here if he wants. Actually, no, it doesn't, because Lene has the DP shape, which DxD just zoomed in on, which pops cross on defense. So not a free cross here. Sagat would only get like a quote-unquote free cross on defense, because what Lene would cross out at range 2 against a Sagat. Maybe someone Lene would. If the situation called for it, so we see Sagat initiate a strike face down. Notably, Sagat can initiate strikes face up for +1 speed. It's going to be the spike, and it's going to be the Moongyre in response. So the Moongyre will hit for 3, and then advance Lene 2. Unfortunately, Lene advances to the short side of the board, nearly on corner. But of course, Lene can just respect out if need be. Spike, of course, will miss, and it is now Lene's turn. Initiating strike, it's going to be the Tenacious Mist again, the mid-speed. Sagat flips 2 Ultras off the Wild Swing, so that's a little bit nice. The Swift Destruction performs really well. Flips 3 Ultras off the top. No Massives now. That's actually insane. And then flips the Sweep. So it'll be a 4 for 2 trade again, similar to last game. MrLephisto will be able to pull a card out from Lene's hand, however. Pulls the Respect out. That's actually a pretty good pull. Because now, once Sagat backsteps, Lene can't do a whole lot. We're actually just going to see the quick backdash come out. Retreat 2 if you're at range 3, take another action. Why does it say regain your action? I feel like that's not... Is that the templating on that card? Regain your action? Is that what the card says in season 3? I feel like it was take another action. In season 6, it's take another action. I know because it says now take another action. I don't know why, but the first boost I thought of was Chaos Umbra boost. But we're actually just going to see a critical face-up Tiger Shot at speed 5. Perfectly acceptable play here. With a push 1 as well, so... Things that would beat it would be Skyfangs. Actually, Skyfangs would beat it pretty cleanly. Sweep does not work. I guess DxD just didn't read the Sagat card that says push 1. Because Sweep does not trade with Tiger Shot here. And then discards. Yeah, I mean, DxD is a relatively new player, I'm assuming. But yeah, the Sweep does not beat Tiger Shot because Tiger Shot pushes. And Tiger Shot also forces the opponent discards, so Lene discards the block that we wanted. The block that would have performed better, I guess, but unfortunate. Sagat will immediately take this time to exceed. Oh, and then takes it back. Why is that low Tiger Shot engage? Oh, that low Tiger Shot's engaged from the Tiger Shot. Okay, of course. Tiger Shot adds the top card of discard. We're actually just going to see Sagat strike with another Tiger Shot because the first one worked out so well. Lene, of course, has no answers in hand, has to Wild Swing. That Skyfangs is what you need to trade with the Tiger Shot. But not in the hand, so Lene will just have to... Lene can block this, yeah. Get a little bit of gauge as well. And yeah, just going to be the block coming out. So that's either block or Wild Swing for the for the answer. Normally, Assault works against the speed 4 fireballs, but just a reminder that this fireball is speed 5 from Sagat. Because of the ability, we're actually going to see Sagat. We're actually just going to see a massive overpay here from Lene. Actually, no, that's Lene. Okay, no, that's Lene dropping the Diviner for the Tiger Shot boost. Excuse me, I thought that was Lene dropping the Diviner for the block, but no, that's. But dropping the Diviner, I don't know about that. Diviner's such a good combat card, because especially if Sagat boosts once, you can boost a Now Strike and then have a 5-speed Diviner. So it's really interesting to see DxD not value these Diviners at all. But that, I think, might just be like Lene's best card, honestly. Tech on a Superior, and suddenly your Diviner's 5-speed as well, and EX at 7 power, ignoring guard. Just wild card. Like, probably one of, almost certainly Lene's best card, right? But not valued by DxD in that scenario. Choosing to keep the Spike and the Cross over the Diviner there. As Lene, I believe Lene used her UA to step forward to range 3. Draws 2 cards, opponent draws a card, and then Lene draws a 3rd card. Did Lene draw a 3rd card? Just a reminder, that UA, at the end of the UA, Lene should be drawing 3 cards in total. And it feels like that didn't happen, because I feel like I remember seeing the Spike and the Cross in the hand when the Diviner was discarded, but maybe I missed something. Anyway, back to Sagat here. Initiating Strike face down. Range 3 mix up here for Sagat in play. Assault Dive Spike. Unfortunately, the only real answer to this from Lene's hand is Cross, and Cross is not going to really work. Spike is... I feel like Spike's not going to work. Yeah, Spike into Spike. I don't know, especially with one... So, technically, it's an Assault Dive Spike Sweep mix-up. But normally most people don't really play Sweep at range 3, and then on top of that, there's already Sweep in the gauge. So I feel like that Spike just lost to everything, which is a little bit unfortunate. So we see Lene do her Lene action again, step to range 2. Free Cross here for Sagat if he wants. Can also exceed to retreat as well. So we're going to see... Nope, Sagat boost backstep, retreat all the way to range 8. Notably down a Tiger Cannon and a low Tiger Shot as well. Luckily it's Lene in Season 6, so there's multiple ways for Lene to come forward, and the way we see here is Respect. We're probably just going to see Respect 3. Yep, Respect to 3. Draw for end of turn. We have EX Dive now, which is a funny option, I guess. Sagat can now finally, although we did just see Sagat drop a dive, Sagat can now face up dive, and that's actually a pretty good strike from Sagat here in the corner. Just take alongside the board as well with that 5-speed dive. Pretty reliable, especially into a character that doesn't have... Oh no. It's going to be the face down Tiger Cannon at speed 6, the second one that we called out. And this Ultra does not look impactful at first glance. It's only 4 power for 4 gauge, but it pushes 3, gains advantage, and now here comes the face-up low Tiger Shot from MrLephisto for sure, right? Just such a like low... It just looks so... Doesn't look very impactful, right? Because it's only 4 damage for 4 gauge, but you tack on the low Tiger Shot afterward, and suddenly you're looking at like a 10 damage move, right? We're actually just going to see MrLephisto boost Fierce instead, so forcing Lene to move in. Lene has a lot of force at her disposal. Has 4 gauge and 5 cards in hand, so surely Lene moves in. The only problem is if you move in too far, you're going to get hit with a 6 damage, 6 power assault. That's basically the threat here if Lene does not move far enough. Lene moved to range 4 because she has EX Dive, however Sagat can just add +1 speed to his dive if he wants at range 4. Although Sagat might not even have that many range 4 options because he's down both Tiger Shots and a dive. If Sagat has the second dive, that would be insane. That's why I was actually shocked to see MrLephisto drop the dive in that scenario. At range 3 from the opponent. Like that kind of mid-range. So we see Sagat crossing to range 1. Now threatening fast slow mix up here. Sagat also has like weird... Sagat has a boost called Terrifying as well, which is the opponent could discards 2 cards at random at range 1 and then you may strike. Linnea's hand is not looking the best here. Like Flying Swallow is a pretty mediocre mid-speed. It dodges a good amount of stuff, but doesn't dodge the Tiger Knee that Sagat has. As we're going to see Tenacious Miss boosted. Now name or normal, then strike. The name card cannot hit you. Hit gain advantage. I wonder what we're going to be naming here. Are we going to be naming Sweep? Are we going to be naming a fast normal? Well, unfortunately, this Flying Swallow is going to get hit for 8. We'll hit for 3 first. We'll cross over 1, 2, 3. It gets caught on the other side for an 8 damage sweep. There we go. Pulls a card as well. And this is all Sagat. So Linne advances to the corner as well. Like, just a couple small nuanced decisions that that I think were subpar that led Linne to this kind of situation, which is kind of sad. Sagat now just has all the board to work with. At the very least, Sagat does not have Low Tiger Shot in hand, unless they just drew it recently. Because otherwise, we would have seen the Low Tiger Shot over the Fierce boost. I feel like over Fierce and then run into range 1 as well. Notably, this Flying Swallow also puts Sagat, or puts Linne too far away for the canonical follow-up of Divine Blaze after a strike, which will be a 1/2/7/6. Not possible, but instead we're just going to see a +1 power. Now strike. We're going to strike with a dive here. Sagat has EX Assault. No, Sagat does not have EX Assault available. Sagat has 1 Assault available to beat this. Sagat also has... Sagat actually has critical low step kick. Critical EX low step kick even. Which is a card that doesn't do a lot of damage, but just beats everything here. Especially when you EX it. Pretty low impact move as far as damage is concerned, but just stuffs out everything. So I wonder if that's an option that MrLephisto will go for. No, he goes for single card. He goes for regular low step kick, no crit. That's a curious decision, but it works. I wonder why Sagat didn't go for critical that didn't want the gauge, as we see, or didn't want to risk gauge rather, as we see Sagat exceed now. Linne is going to have to change cards surely. Can also Linne action, I guess, to range 3. Except we are going to see we are almost certainly going to see a face-up strike at range 3 from Sagat, whether that be assault or dive. And that actually seems pretty difficult for Linne to deal with in this scenario. Range 3, a little bit too far out. No range dodge. We do have a range dodge, but reminder that only works at range 2, so that will not work in this scenario. The range dodge actually only beats like second low step kick. We're gonna see a face up crit Tiger Knee, so this is gonna be a 1/6/4/4. Pretty decent stat line there. We can in this hand you can respond to it with focus. The problem with responding to it with focus is that there's not a whole lot left in the tank as far as health is concerned for Linne. So trade like this for Linne, like while necessary, is just kind of really sad. Would be a 4-for-4 trade, putting Linne down to 4 HP against Sagat's 15. And Sagat also gains advantage off this as well. Sagat also closes into range 1, so again, ignoring that elusive flash dodge. And surely Sagat just strikes with something face up. It's going to be face up cross 1/2/4/7. Linne can like take 3 damage with the elusive flash, but probably just better off wild swinging for block in that scenario. Well, actually, no, you play the face up you play the EX elusive flash to live, I guess. Even though you're very sad about it, and then you probably change cards a bunch or do something else. But Sagat was in a pretty dominating position from the mid game onward, so that looked pretty tough for Lene. Towards the end, there was not really a whole lot that she could do. But anyway, MrLephisto takes the set. 2-0 will be 1-0. This is the Swiss part of the tournament. So there'll be 5 rounds of Swiss. MrLephisto moves up to 1-0. DxD moves down to 0-1. So obviously, no tournament dreams are dead yet. But it's always good to start off with a win, right? Again, thank you to DxD for providing the video for this. I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the set. And yeah, I'm always happy to cast these, even in the future, I guess. Even though I don't have like control over the camera, I think it still makes for a decent viewing experience. If you like what you saw, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, bell, all that good stuff. But we will see you for the next one, hopefully soon. I actually don't know what match I will be looking at next, but a lot of matches left in the tournament. We're just getting started. Alright guys, take care. Bye-bye.